I'm here with Brian Saline from Fusion Off-Road. He's actually parked right next to us, but most of all, he's actually a dealer of KC who actually buys and sells our product to his customers. So let's take a walk around with his truck and let us know what's going on, Brian.
Yeah, basically, thanks Chuck, appreciate
no
that.
problem.
This is one of our newer 6100 trucks here, and it's basically it's a little bit dumbed down of a trophy truck, and it's spec. Everyone's running the same 525 LS3 motor. We got the big 40-inch BFGs this year, and they also let us go to underdrives. But if you get into the nuts and bolts of the truck, suspension size, everything, this is basically a little lightweight version of a full-size trophy truck, but the electronics and all the parts inside this truck, it's all the same stuff. We use the same parts, the highest end of everything, and that's why we're a customer of KC Lights. Yeah, so basically right now we're going to step into the office of this thing, and just like any modern office that you work in now, we've got computer screens and everything to tell us what to do. LED, as you can see on these screens, you've got everything, all your engine temps, trans temps, oil temps, pressures, it's all there. With these things, you want to get to a different deal, you just hit a little button here and it will screen over to another one. And so we have so much information at our fingertips with the electronics in these cars nowadays. We have GPS tracking, and the GPS keeps you on the track. We've got a navigator sitting where Chuck would be sitting, and what the navigator's doing is he's looking at our little diamond right here, which would be the truck, and this is the race course. So that guy's telling you, you got a left 90 coming up, tight left, straight over floater, whatever. He fills it all in. He lets you know, driver, you're just steering wheel, throttle, pedal, brake, and that's what you do. So we really depend on our co-pilots to keep us in better health and stuff during the day. We have these onboard air systems that pressurizes positive pressure inside your helmet of air. You have, yeah, it plugs in there. We have a skirt that holds the pressure in there so we don't get dust in the backside inside of our helmet, and it kind of helps us with a little extra air inside there too. Intercoms also plug in with the air. That way, just like we're talking right now, we can talk back and forth with each other inside the truck as we're racing at 120 miles an hour through waist-high whoops. So it's kind of comfortable once you get in. You get buckled in these trucks, and you're there for the 4 or 5 up to 1,000-mile races that we do down in Mexico. You're comfortable, you're in your place, and you just get to go to work and do your job, and that's where the fun really starts. So this is a customer truck owned by Jerry Herling. By day, when you drive through, you see all the big windmills and stuff like that. He knocks them down, he puts them back up. That's his day job. This is what he enjoys to do on the weekend. He comes out, we prepare his truck for him. He gets done knocking down the windmills. He comes out here to the races. By weekend, Jerry's a racer. It's pretty awesome form of motorsports to have the opportunity to do that, where you can hold a regular job and also be a motorsports racer. So let's step underneath the hood of this thing and look into everything underneath this truck chassis, all these arms. It's everything that we've handmade. We've got a group of TIG welders at the shop that they just sit at tables and weld all these parts up, and it's not your average stuff that you see on the street truck and anything like that. This is all built for this, and if you've ever been in one of these trucks about 150 miles in any race that you're in, you can't put it together in your head how they're still together and take the beating that these trucks take, but they take anything that our bodies can throw at them. So it's a pretty interesting sport. But everything under here is all 100% handmade. Another beautiful thing about our sport is everything's not regulated, so I have ideas, we can build our ideas. Right here we have a truck made by Mason Motorsports. They have different ideas than we have, and so everything's a little different and personalized to what the owner wants and drives, and it makes it for really good competition at the end of the day. With that being said, KC HiLiTES offers us so much variety in lights and what the lights do. We've got light bars from other companies that they make this big ball of light. They're really bright, but if you put dust in the equation, the dust lights up that whole ball. You can't see through it. The KC lights, they've got more beams that come out of their lights in it. You can see underneath the dust ball, and the beam goes through it. So it's a big difference when you're trying to do 120 miles an hour through the desert at night, it's definitely Casey has our back when it comes to doing that. So it's a great product for us to use. So in our motorsport, you know, I've said it a couple times that it's such a different world than any other form of motorsport. You know, there's times in Mexico where we're 100, 150 miles away from the nearest anything. So we're on our own. So not only do we have to have a race car, our race car also has to be our service shop. We have to carry our spare tires with us. We carry our jacks. You know, in case we get stuck, you've got ramps and stuff on these trucks. It's pretty amazing the amount of parts and products aside from the racing side of things that we can fit in these trucks. And you know, we get out, you change one of these tires, you got to throw it down. We're not allowed to leave them in the desert, so you got to pick up that 130-pound tire, put it back on, and tie it down. These two deals right here, this is how we do our fueling. Our fueling, you know, we have fuel 150 gallons in the towers on top of the trucks. We can fuel this thing in 40 seconds. We can put 80 gallons of fuel in this thing, and it's an all-out, you know, when we talk about aspects of racing, we have our NASCAR aspect when we come into the pits, because yes, we're changing tires, yes, we're adding fuel, but our tires aren't 40 pounds, they're 130 pounds. Our fuel's not 20 gallons, it's 80 to 100 gallons. So it's pretty amazing the technology that goes in to every off-road vehicle out here racing and making these things get to the finish line.